Hello 3DMJers. Today I wanted to cover a better way to CrossFit. This is a question that many of us coaches have been getting from our clients right now because we're kind of in the peak of prep, and so we're looking for ways of increasing the energy expenditure, etc. And so CrossFit is a term that's kind of tossed out there a lot. And really, to be honest with you, I have no idea what a proper CrossFit workout is, or what even really CrossFit is. It's not really something like football that's definitive in what it is as a sport. But a lot of YouTube videos, fitness enthusiasts, and fitness professionals, they title or label CrossFit workouts that, to me, basically equal CrossFit equals HIIT, or like interval training, where you do high intensity activity for a short period of time, and then you do rest, or like active rest, for a short period of time. Also could be referred to as complexes, like barbell complexes you'll see. And basically what we here at 3D Muscle Journey call bodybuilder friendly cardio. As many YouTubers that watch are very quickly to point out, I'm not blessed with the best of size. And so I need every little extra edge that I can get, and do it over the long haul. And so, I don't want to do cardio that makes me look more, like a marathon runner, or more like a tennis player, because that's basically kind of, that's the sport that you're training for. That's kind of what your body's ultimately going to look like. And so I'm going to do things that will, hopefully get me to allow me to do my cardio, that will make me look more, like a bodybuilder, more like a weightlifter. And so ultimately, that's what we're after here, is energy expenditure, okay, or calorie expenditure. And this is our bodybuilder friendly way of doing that, regardless of what the label is: CrossFit, HIIT, interval training, complexes, etc. So what is a better way to CrossFit, in my humble opinion? Basically, I've got a few rules for a better way to CrossFit. Now, if you came here looking for, me to explain why CrossFit is wrong, or what's wrong with CrossFit, you kind of came to the wrong place. If you know anything about 3D Muscle Journey and us as the coaches, we don't focus on negative things, negative person, places, things, ideals, etc. We focus on improvement, and basically trying to find a better way, especially with our sport. So that's what I'm going to focus on here, is a better way to do interval training CrossFit, okay? Choose exercises you have mastered, okay? And so what does this mean, mastered? Basically, here's a good rule of thumb. If you don't feel comfortable putting a very heavy load on an exercise that you're going to perform, and then perform that exercise to either a 1 or 2 rep max, then you should not do that in a CrossFit workout. So let me say that again, because it's very important. If you don't feel comfortable doing a super heavy load on that exercise, don't do it for a CrossFit workout. Because these interval training type workouts, they push you to very close to failure. They're very exhausting, and the last thing you want to do is, perform poorly on an exercise that you're not really comfortable with. So a good choice, or something that you have mastered, something that you've had a lot of hours of professional coaching or training, something that you maybe have done for years, and you do feel comfortable, doing something to failure with a very heavy load. Those are ideal exercises for a CrossFit workout, and why I'll get to here in a second. Rule number 2, focus on time, not on reps, okay? So in the past, I've just simply stood in front of a clock and just watched the second hand for my time. But now, of course, with our mobile devices and whatnot, you can get free apps. It's got like a counter timer, boxing timer, etc. Rings when you got to go, rings when it's time to stop. But your focus should be on time, not on reps. And so basically, when the time goes, we'll get into the next thing here in a second, but your sole focus is on performing each exercise perfectly. And that rolls into, from rule number 2 to rule number 3. Focus on each rep individually, perform each rep well, okay? So these two kind of go hand in hand. Actually, these three kind of go hand in hand, but nonetheless, you want to perform each rep. Each rep is its own individual exercise, and you want to perform each rep as if somebody was filming you and critiquing your technique. And that's the way each rep should be performed. And you can't really do that if you're either A, counting reps, or B, thinking of other things that I'm going to get to here in a second, okay? Treat each rep as its own individual exercise, perform each rep perfectly, okay? Which leads to number 4. Focus on performance in practice, not, quote-unquote, getting a good workout, okay? Basically, the last thing you want to do is think to yourself, well, in order to get a good workout, I have to perform these repetitions as rapidly as I can and get the most amount of reps that I can possibly get in the time frame, okay? Or, basically just kind of trying to think of it as a race or catching up or whatever. Again, focus on time. When that timer starts, you go. Regardless of where you're at, when the timer stops, you finish, regardless of how many reps you've done, okay? And then focus on the performance of each individual rep and practicing to make that perfect. And this kind of goes back to my years in the RKC School of Strength. If you focus on this and do each rep as if you're practicing for perfection, you're going to get a good workout. I can almost guarantee it, especially in this particular setting, okay? Sorry, starting to ramble. Number 5, use challenging loads, not heavy or light loads, okay? So basically, a good rule of thumb here, use loads that are about 40 to 50% of what is heavy for you. Something that you can do for like a 1 rep max, 2 rep max, 3 rep max, something like that, okay? And here's the reason why. Number 1, a lot of times you see CrossFitters using very light loads, and so therefore they're able to slop out a lot of poor repetitions, okay? It's really something you don't want to do because you can lead to injury, movement pattern problems, etc. Okay, use loads that basically force you to use good technique on every single repetition, and you can't really do that with light loads. Okay, at the same time, don't use heavy loads. Use challenging loads, but not something that is basically going to force you to do bad things at the end of the workout. A lot of times, those of you who have done this type of training, the first few intervals, yeah, they're fairly easy. The reps are fairly light. You had a lot more in the tank, and when the timer goes off, you didn't feel like quitting. You felt like getting another one in. But by the end of the workout, you're pretty much screaming for mercy. You're struggling, to maintain good technique, and so that's why you want to use challenging loads. Okay, so now. Basically, what I'm going to do here, it's a beautiful day here in Northern California. It's the perfect weather for an outdoor workout. It's not too hot, but it's warm, and there's a little bit of a breeze that kind of keeps it cool. And I'm just going to demonstrate, pieces of what I call a good interval training workout. And so let's go over that real quickly. Number 1, first station, kettlebell swing. I'm a certified kettlebell instructor. I have done thousands, if not tens of thousands of kettlebell swings in my 6-7 years as a certified instructor. Station number 2, a dumbbell double overhead press. Okay, again, certified in teaching that, been trained by very high level trainers of trainers in that very exercise. Station number 3, same thing, barbell squat. Basically we've had dozens of hours at every RKC weekend doing nothing but squatting, and the instruction of squatting and the technicalities of it, etc. So again, very comfortable doing the squat. And then lastly, number 4, just your basic curl bar curl. Doesn't get too technical, very easy to perform, and usually a good way to kind of just get a little bit of an extra breather. So we'll set that up here. I'll turn the camera over to my son Xander, and we'll demonstrate that for you.
1.
Okay, a couple more.
No, my arm's getting tired.
Oh, wow.
No, no.
All right, 3D engineers, so there you go. That's my recommendation, my demonstration of how you should do HIIT, barbell complex, CrossFit type workout, whatever you want to call it. But basically, remember the 5 rules. Number 1, focus on exercises that you are very comfortable with, you know, pretty much feel like you've mastered, if there is such a thing. Number 2, focus on time, not on reps. Not once do I even remember how many reps I did. I think one time it was 4, and then another time I lost count at 6. Focus on time, listen for that timer, watch the second hand, whatever. Number 3, focus on each individual rep as its own individual exercise. Make sure that you don't get sloppy. Each rep, practice to make it perfect, okay? Number 4, use challenging weight, but not weight that's too heavy or too light. You could probably see the beginning of the workout, those overhead presses were pretty easy. By the end, I was suffering. Likewise, make sure it's not too light and that your form basically breaks down. Good rule is 40 to 50%. And then finally, just make sure that you practice and work for good repetitions and not focus on getting a good workout. You can see I got a plenty good workout. I don't know if you can see that, but as some of our female clients say, I'm glistening. So there you go. There is a better CrossFit workout, in my opinion. Certainly lots of different ways you can do it, but again, this serves as many purposes, an instructional video for clients, and you know, if we can help anybody out there, you know, just be a little bit better at their sport and tuned to their sport,
that's what we're all about, is just trying to make the world a better place. So thanks for watching. Thanks for your support. Thank you, 3DM Jares.